now we know that because it was not gazetted, there was no legal notice. So that's why our council took it upon ourselves to make our own scheme of service. But there was no LGS.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Now, you are aware of conflict of interest in appointments, that appointment of staff should be free from conflict of interest, correct?
Yes.
Good. Now, the idea that the individuals that I mentioned who worked for you, who had a relationship with you, do you not think that it was just prudent to have the appointments to go the normal and usual way?
I think for them, there was no conflict of interest. I knew them. I know many people who are employed by KMC. Is the fact is whether I am directly part of the hiring or not. What I would have loved is for the people I wanted, including them, to work. That's the total honesty, to work for KMC. But like I said, the establishment committee insisted that no, it has to go through process, and it did.
Now, the appointment of, example, Nuruddin, we confirmed. He said that I had even taken part in the campaign of the mayor. We think the appointment was a fair process, that there are, of course, hundreds of Gambians who would have um, um, been qualified to hold these positions, and the same with the public relations officer or manager. Do you not think there should have been a fair process, advertise these positions so that people can apply and fill these positions?
So thousands of people have campaigned for me. Even more thousands have voted for me. A lot of them have wanted work at KMC. I've received thousands of applications, but only few. Like there was a case, Maria Mapa,
Yes.
Fatmata Mane, they all applied, but they could not get the positions, and there's many, many more. So it's just the lucky few who can make it through the process.
Yes, that's why I said, will it not, since the public service and it is supposed to be an employment open to the public, advertisement, you'll agree with me, it's supposed to be a general rule that people have equal opportunity to apply for these positions, and we have the most qualified to fill our public space because they don't go through elections for this position.
Yes, so I always advocate for advertisement, but
Yes.
like the general order says, maybe sometimes the establishment does headhunting, sometimes they use referrals, sometimes they redeploy from within, but that is at their discretion.
So will you say that their appointments were referrals?
The appointment they applied, they
Yeah.
applied to the council.
Yes. What I'm saying is, since they did not meet the qualifications, it's in fact stated in the HR report, which I'm trying to check. Since they did not meet the qualifications, then it means that they would have been employed in the indirect way or headhunted. So would you qualify their appointment as being individuals that were headhunted for this position?
Not headhunted, but they applied.
They applied.
They applied, and I referred them to the HR or the establishment.
So their appointments were referrals.
They applied and they brought it to my office, so I refer. But I would not say referral because a referral would imply that I am the one who took it upon myself to refer them. But like I said, there was about 40 when I first came into office.
Yes.
10 people from my own team, campaign team, came to me and said they are looking for work.
Yes.
I refer all of them. I say go to the HR.
Yes. That is why I said that to have these positions to be advertised, you would agree with me, is the best in this circumstance. Because if you have a vacant position um, to fill in a public space without a special qualification, individuals that are appointed do not have special qualifications. In fact, the HR audit specifically outlined the individuals. For instance, if you look at the issue of Nuruddin Adams, the qualification is just certificate in business studies, diploma, result in business studies, and O-level certificate. You can have someone who is more qualified than Nuruddin Adams, certainly, correct?
Can you ask again, sir? You said?
You can have applicants who, if it is open to advertisement, would have been more qualified than Nurin Adams.
Yes, can, absolutely.
Good. So as a file, the qualification is an attestation of completion of SGSS, the St. Joseph Senior Secondary School, and a certificate in IT. Certainly, for a manager to just have a certificate in IT, that would not be the requisite academic qualification necessary, and it's also flagged by the HR report as well. Correct?
Yes, the matter was discussed and debated in council.
And
the matter was discussed and debated in council.
Yes.
But if I may add,
right.
Usually when you're recruiting, even in the private sector,
Right.
You can do headhunting.
Yes.
And of course, you can, just like in contracts, you single source.
Yes.
Sometimes you can get somebody with the right experience,
Right.
even without the prerequisite education. That's why we ask them to go back to school at the General Council.
But yes, I agree, 100%. But if you headhunt, it means you're going for the best in a certain position. You have identified that to rule out advertisement would be to know that there is somebody who just stands out. And we know Mr. X is extremely competent, has a proven track record, and there would not be any doubt reasonable enough to question the experience and the qualification of the person. So is that not the place and time as to how or why headhunting should be done?
Well, I don't think there's a general rule to it. It says, that's why I say it's at the discretion of the committee. When they do their interviews, they're the ones who will look at their different scoring.
Now, with HR flag, was an action done?
Yes, it was discussed at the general. I remember there was a contentious issue. I think you have the minutes where the councillors agreed that, okay, these may not have the right qualifications, but given their experience, we would resolve that they keep their positions and upgrade themselves.
But Karjane, is he related to you?
Yes, he's my uncle.
Okay. Now, Adama Jame as well?
Yes, he's my uncle.
Okay. You can't recall whether you have any cleaner with you?
No, I don't.
Can't recall. So, was Babakar Jame employed subsequently?
Initially, yes.
Okay. So, do you think it's coincidence that all these three, and you say 3 or 4 people, were employed without your influence?
Yes, Adam Ajame was working in council since
No,
1988.
Not Adama Jame.
Well, you mentioned
Babakar.
that. That's why I want to clarify.
Yes. No. Go ahead, please.
Adam Ajame has been working in KMC since 1988,
Right.
when I was 2 years old, and she's been there for the longest. Babukar Jamme, initially, who was employed by council, I asked him to resign. I think he was there for less than a year. I called him to my office and I said, look, I know you've been employed, but you are my uncle. I would not like you to stay here. So I asked him to resign and I employed him directly through my NGO. So those are the two ones.
No, now, Babakar Jame, we have Nordin Adams, we have Miss Fall. I think one other. I think the cleaner, we don't have the name. Now, the question was for these people, would you say that it is just coincidence the appointments were without your influence?
I wouldn't say it's coincidence. It's 4 people out of 1,200 staff.
Right.
It's 4 people that I would have loved to work in KMC.
Right.
I would have loved to bring many more people as part of my team who I trust and can rely on. But the fact of the matter is I can't. The most I can do is I can refer them to the right authorities, and those authorities can decide or not. But I can tell you for a fact, I am dissatisfied that I could not come in with my team. I would have wished to employ my full office. And one of the issues with change in politics is that you don't want to inherit employees of especially your opponent. So there's a trust issue there. So like I said, the establishment committee lead chairman was adamant, insisted and had his way to make sure that everything goes through process. But the norm usually in the world of politics is you come in with your team.
Yes, but everything didn't go through the normal process. That's the issue. The committees are answerable to council. They report to council, correct? And so council would have to exercise its oversight function over these committees. Is that correct? General council.
The other council exercise oversight function on committees.
Yeah, I said these committees, various committees, are creatures of
report to council.
Yes, exactly. They have to report to council, and so in reporting to council, council can fact check what they do to see whether it's in line with procedure or not, or regulations or not. Is that not the case?
It's not the case because it is very difficult. Because councillors and they entrust these bodies to act.
Right.
If a councillor, a single councillor detects that maybe a process was not taken by a committee or committee did not do a job, then they can report back to the council and say, I object to what this committee does. But if that doesn't happen, council as a body cannot exercise oversight.
But then they should. It's difficult is one aspect of it.
Yes, so in the practical application, the functions are just, the ability is just not there.
The ability is not there.
It's not there because, the councils, Gambia, especially the office of the clerk, is not very well equipped. But in other countries, the policy making arm should have a lot of staff and the ability to detect compliance issues.
Yes. So the idea that the capacity may not be there or the structures may not be in place to detect is one argument which may be convincing, but the responsibility is still that of councils to perform that. So it's expected that they would have the oversight function and they would perform that.
It's the first time. It's the first time I've ever somebody has ever brought this up. But like I said, the council entrusts these committees.
Yes.
Exercise oversight on the administration. But council has never exercised oversight on a committee. A councillor can detect an anomaly, or a staff or a director or even a member of the general public and report it to the council, but it's not a function and it's not in law. I don't think anybody ever thought of it as far as Gambia is concerned, but it's something to look at. And I think maybe that's one of the things should be looked at.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we go to the issues of employment. The staff of council, how are they employed? When you came in 2018, what did you find on the ground in relation to who has the power to employ staff of council? I mean, the CEO down.
So when we came, there was a lot of movements made by the interim body. I think they were acting more of an executive than a council.
Right.
Now, the first thing we were struggling with is no scheme of service. The HR office was not well equipped. So it was how to get started. So we constituted the committee to sort of guide us. And the HR expert suggested we do a HR audit to understand what is in the staff, square pegs in round holes, etc. Now, at the initial time when I came, the CEO was doing all hiring as far as I think daily pays are concerned. This is irregular workers. And the establishment was doing absolutely all hiring, top to bottom. There was no limit. Then at some point, they started coming to the council for approval. And then after the local government service committee, service committee was instituted in 2019. And they wrote to all councils that hiring should cease. I remember that, I think. And then they made a tour to all the councils to do a familiarization tour. And then right after, they wrote another letter that CEOs may hire up to grade 5.
Yes.
And then subsequently in 2023, I think they reduced the CEO's limit from 5 to 3.
3, yes.
If I remember that.
Yes. Now, in 2019 is when we have the Local Government Service Commission being established proper, correct?
Somewhere around.
Okay. Now, so from that moment on, they would be dealing with all employment of council, correct?
Yes, the establishment would do the work and then they should recommend to the service commission.
Now, we see there were periods beyond 2019 that contracts were given to various individuals. For instance, we have Mustafa Kanya.
Yes.
We have Adam Ajam. We have Sehu, M. Sabali, and a lot others. A lot others. Now, I have the contract dated the 1st of October 2022 for Mustafa Kanya. We have 10th February 2022 appointment on contract for Mustafa Kanya. We have 14th of January 2021 appointment on contract for Mustafa Kanya. We have Adam Jame, 1st of February 2021, 10th of February 2022, 30th of September 2022, 30th of September 2023. We have contract renewals for COM Sabali, 10th of February 2022, 30th of September 2022, February 6, 2019. I want you to take a look at this document. Okay. Yes. Let us.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Now, this would happen beyond 2019 when we have the commission, the Government Service Commission to deal with employment matters. Now, what was the process followed in the either extension on contracts or the appointment of employees on contract basis for this period?
So these characters, the issue frequently came to the council floor for debate. On the issue of Mustafa Kani, I think I already said how he came to the council. When his initial contract expired, I believe the debate came to the council because everybody found him effective on the ground. He was very good with dealing with the locals in terms of the communities in the markets, dump site, etc. So I think when the councillors realized that okay, they cannot, the establishment committee recommended that instead of he being hired as a staff, let the CEO offer him a consultancy as opposed to being hired as a staff, because I think he was worried about the same compliance issues you are raising. So as you can see in the various contracts from the initial one, he was employed as a consultant through the office of the CEO. On the issue of Sehu M. Sabali and Adama Jami, these were mostly from the Directorate of Finance. Our opinion, I remember, as policymakers, no staff should be indispensable, and we must focus on sustainability.
Yes.
But the same request would come year in, year out from the finance director that one, Adama Jammeh had institutional memory from the 80s, which is not something that we were I'm even proud to say, because the metric system and the database should be the memory. But he always spoke about the transfer of properties and not enough paper trail, lost records, and she had that memory. So it was a debate in every general council. For Sabali, again, he would raise the same issues. So most of those recommendations were coming from the Department of Finance. Now, to your answer directly, they were bringing it to the General Council as a contract extension because I believe, according to them, it did not need the Local Government Service Commission because these were staff of council already. And according to them, if I remember, they're entitled to 2 years contract extension up to 3 times. I remember that was the debate that was brought there. They said they are entitled to 2 years contract extensions up to 3 times, which is 6 years.
Yes, but the question is, who has the authority to award either contract extensions or award contract employment on contracts during this period?
Yeah, the authority for employment
Yes.
and staff matters above a certain grade is the Local Government Service Commission.
Right.
But like I said, on the issue of these two characters, their argument was that they are already staff and that was within their authority at the time. So unless you can refer me to the contract section.
Did the council seek for advice in relation to the employment? Because there is nowhere that we see that gives either council the powers or the CEO or any CEO the powers to employ people on contract. I think what the CEOs have is that during this period they can employ people grade 3 and down, which is very specific, very clear. So now
on that side, on that time, I think it's grade 5 down.
Okay, so grade 5 and down. All of these guys were above grade 5.
Yes.
So if they have the specific instructions or power given to them by the authority that has the power to employ, that is the Service Commission, and they do not have, we see nowhere where they have the power to appoint. That is either the council itself, as general body, or the CEO. Do you not think that there should have been legal advice to see whether the CEO has the power to issue contracts, extend contracts?
So all the people who should give advice are on the committee itself.
Right.
That's why we rely on their expertise.
Right.
The CEO also sits there. And they consult with the lawyer frequently. So that's why I said when they come to the council and make a recommendation, it depends who raises the questions, but
Yes.
for the most part, we trust that they have sought the advice of the experts.
Because the appointment on contracts will still fall under employment, correct?
Yes, they all fall under them.
Which the general council as a body does not have the power to deal with employment of this grade above, correct?
Yes, it should be referred to the Service Commission.
Service Commission. And the committee, the establishment committee, going by the act itself, is very clear that even issues of appointments, safe to say the limitations that are provided with respect to the grading, that where you even have issues of employment or disciplinary matter, it should be sent to the commission.
Yes, and I can recall once the Minister of Local Government, Musa Drami,
Yes.
inviting me, raising an issue around this. I remember once.
Yes.
And I think the Service Commission has once invited the establishment committee. At that time, they used to meet about such matters. And I believe it was resolved, to my belief.
Do you know how it was resolved?
Sorry. Because usually what the law says is the establishment should refer to the Local Government Service Commission. So they do have a direct relationship.
Yes.
With the council accordingly.
Yes. Think it's the functions of the Establishment Committee, Section 37 of the Local Government Act 2002, which reads that the Establishment Committee shall, subject to this act and any other enactment, be responsible for A, recommending to its local government service commission the appointment, dismissal, conditions of service and discipline of officers and other employees of its council and any matter connected to therewith, and B, such other functions as its council may deem fit. So that going by what we see here, to us here, investigators, the appointments on contract would not be in line with regulation. What is your opinion? To answer.
So the establishment is their role to ensure that they pass these matters to the Service Commission. But
Yes.
as I said, I don't know what discussions they have had. But the best thing to do is to refer these matters to recommend to the body, the Service Commission. But I also want to note
Yes.
that the Service Commission has not been functioning for a very long time, just so that you can note that, because many letters are sent are not brought back. And sometimes I even have to find out what is wrong, why they're not, because I think the Service Commission was dissolved twice.
Yes.
The first chairman was former CC, and I think he resigned, and then they instituted a new commission. But the relationship was not, there was not much communication.
Do we also know how now that we have discussed the issue of their appointments on contract,
But say it again?
now that we have discussed the issue on
Yes.
the appointment on contracts, do we also know the remuneration of these individuals? Start with Khan Mustafa Khan, the appointment dated the 14th of January 2021. We'll take that as a sample. That is signed by Demboja for the CEO, where it states that you shall be paid a quarterly installment of $80,000. The breakdown is outlined as follows: telephone allowance, $15,000, dump site allowance, $30,000, consultancy fees, $35,000. Do you know, or does the council know how these figures were arrived?
So with the issue of Khan Mustafa Khan, he was not a employee. That's why he was being treated as a consultant. I think they were very hard that he doesn't meet the requirements. His salary, I believe, was brought to the general council, or his consultancy fees, and from the sounds of it, it was working out to something like 27 to 28,000 per month. But it was brought to the general council for debate, if I remember.
Yes, Mr. Mustafa Kani, I had I examined Mr. Mustafa Kani here. Mustafa Kani, do we know his qualifications, academic qualifications?
I have never checked his qualifications. I just felt that he was a presidential advisor.
Right.
He was appointed by the president in the interim management. When I came in, what I was looking at was the impact he has had on the ground. That was my concern. But in terms of the technicalities, that was the establishment.
Mr. Mustafa Kani, if we have him referred to as a consultant, what would that be? What kind of consultancy?
So I believe we have used Khan Mustafa Kani in 3 areas.
Right.
I believe one was to regularize the market, which was quite disorderly. A lot of leakage, a lot of poor management. At some point, we found a use for him for recovering very hard to recover debt, and I believe he helped to recover 21 million from NAWEC, and a lot of, I think, 7 million from another big businessman I cannot name, but these were bad debts. Then at another point, I believe we have the most notorious dump site in the country, which was burning frequently, and we needed a hardliner because there's so many stakeholders there, from scavengers to neighbors to people who melt pots, donkey cart drivers. So 300, 400 people make a living from the dump site. So we needed a hardliner. So depending on the management's needs, they discussed with the establishment, and then the establishment was against giving any sort of employment. So he was given a consultancy, yeah, through the council.
Now, a consultancy again would require that it be approved by GPPA.
I believe all his consultancies were below 500,000 annually.
Annually. Whereas what I mean is it will require that you follow, that's what the law says, that it has to be approved by GPA for request for proposals. Because if he's classified as a consultant, then the usual process would be request for proposal, which requires that there has to be an approval from GPA.
If it's beyond 500,000.
Yes, because the regulation for consultancy, which I've read earlier, it has its own requirements for each of the methods of procurement, RFQ, RFP, and the others, open tender. So I think 74 going to 75 says, 94 going to 95. If you read it, it will tell you that 94.2, but a procuring organization shall submit a request for proposal for the approval to the authority as applicable. So the authority has to approve. So if it is marked as a consultant.
If, from my knowledge,
Yeah.
if it's above 500,000, but below 500,000, the CEO has discretion, because there's many instances where the CEO takes consultancies or takes temporary work and pays honorarium at their discretion.
Okay,
but
so this says shall. It says a procurement organization shall submit a request for proposal for the approval to the authority. Now, for this one is very specific, and it will require the usual process that we have a minimum of 3 consultants contacted, and then a request for proposal sent to them, requested that they send their proposals, which would include the financial and technical proposals that would aid the council first, either through its various committees or by itself, to go through these proposals that are sent, financial, technical, otherwise academic qualifications, so as to know who the best candidate would be.
Well, I would have to look at the whole law, because I think there's a section on single sourcing and specialized services.
Yeah.
But like I said, as far as the council is concerned, below 500,000 is the discretion of the CEO,
Yeah.
and above it is between the council and GPPA.
So single sourcing 2 still talks about emergency situations. For instance, it says on page 46, section 46, if you go by the 2022 Act, Government Public Procurement Act, which is this an exceptional non-competitive procurement method that can only be used under the following conditions, irrespective of the estimated value of the contract. So, A, where due to the exceptional circumstances that the procuring organization could not have foreseen, and that can in no way be attributed to them, the time limits for the competitive procedures cannot be met. The circumstances invoked to justify extreme urgency shall in no way be attributable to any department or staff of the procuring organization, in this case KMC. B, where for technical reason or reasons involving the protection of exclusive rights or proprietary services, the contract can be awarded only to a particular economic operator. Standardization of equipment or spare parts to be compatible with existing equipment, and the list goes on. Or C, for such to be justified, the original equipment shall be, it goes on. So for consultants, the requirement as well would be for minimum of 3 to be sent. But we do not see any, be it as it may, whether it is for through single sourcing or otherwise, we do not see any procurement process followed in this.
Is there any area on specialized service? Sorry, I don't have the GPPA.
The GPPA Act. Please, you can check it. Let me ask my junior to check it.
But at just to summarize the issue,
yes,
it was at the, like I said, discretion of the establishment committee and
Yes.
decided on the council based on a specialized operation we required at the time.
Yes.
And he was the only man who was equipped based on our understanding.
But Mr. Kanye, my issue with Mr. Kanye is he does not have, number one, the academic qualification. I told him this, but I am repeating to you. He doesn't have academic qualification. Mr. Kanye does not have special skills. No evidence of special skills. I'm not saying whether the issue with respect to him being effective on the ground, that's subjective, based on how KMC or the appointing authority sees it at the time. But if you do not have special skills, that is obvious to anyone who would scrutinize you. Like in the case that's happening right now, and you don't have the academic qualifications to do this. You have risen to the ranks of a manager and been paid substantially well. That's the case of Mr. Kanye. Then is it the case that it was either almost impossible or extremely difficult that you can have somebody with the necessary qualifications who will also be as effective or even more than Mr. Kanye?
So I don't know where they found Mr. Kanye, but what I can attest,
Right.
he's one of the most operationally effective and proficient characters you can find in this country if you need things done. When he came, we had a similar doubt as to qualifications, etc.
Right.
But then we saw the rationale behind the appointment from the OP. And I guess the council, these issues are always debated at the council floor.
Right.
And there's many councillors like yourself look at the the regulations and they look at the requirements. But at the end of the day, what was decided, we cannot hire him directly through the establishment rules. So let the CEO, through his ability to hire consultants, use him. But I believe he has been one of the most effective operators I have seen in this country.
Mr. Kanye, when we interviewed the various employees, what we got from that is Mr. Kanye almost felt that he was beyond beyond any form of disciplinary measure or correction. In fact, we were given a letter that he wrote, which I read to I believe when Dembo Ja wrote to him in relation to suspension. And the language, I'm not sure whether you heard about it in the commission, but the language that Mr. Kanye wrote in response to Dembo Ja, then the registrar will check it and then we will show it to you, would suggest that Mr. Kanye is not only academically well, I wouldn't want to use the word also of my not to say academically backward, but it doesn't have the academic qualification and the prior experience, the experience in other institutions to do. So would it not have been proper? Number one, you'd have saved council money if this position was advertised, and we get people that are highly qualified and they are paid within the normal grade because Mr. Kanye was paid well above the normal grade, correct? Of a manager. I repeat, I said, would it not be proper to have this position to be advertised and then we have people, Gambians who are qualified enough to hold this position than just maintaining Mr. Kanye with no qualification, with no prior experience in other institutions, just by the fact that Mr. Kanye is deemed to be effective by the council or the committee.
No, he had a prior experience. Like I said, he was a presidential advisor. I think that's the highest office in the land. He was also appointed by the president as an interim manager at the interim management committee. So I believe the track record is there. Now, in terms of what I can tell you, effectiveness on the ground, which education does not necessarily give you. I know 21 million owed by NAWEC, which was outstanding for several years. he was the one who was able to get it. There was another 7 million owed by another businessman that almost went dormant. He was the one who got it. He regulated our markets. Our markets were very tough. We faced a lot of strikes, criminality, break-ins. And at the dump site, I think you know that the dump site burns frequently for 30 years. Kanjura put in systems in place called the red flag system that has now prevented the Bakote dump site from erupting in flames for the past 4 years. So I agree that he may be an unsavory character, and that should go through disciplinary measures. And if at all he crosses lines, should be dismissal. In terms of how the procurement of his contract was done, we expect that the right procedures should be taken. But the General Council, like I said, resolved on this issue through sometimes very heated debates, but all usually agree on his effectiveness on the ground.
Do we have his letter of appointments for the positions by the OP?
He should have it. I've seen it before. He should have
He
it.
was asked to produce it. Even at the level of the investigation, he did not. I keep on asking them and whether he has this letters. He did not still provide these letters, but should in case I think he will hear what we're saying. So in case he can find it, he can produce it.
I can attest that I have seen it. I did not believe it when he told me.
Yes.
I asked him for it and I've seen it with my.
All right. Now, Mr. Kanye had been given several impressed. See, Mr. Kanye's issue is very serious because not only did he benefit from contract extensions, numerous contract extensions, and but also engaging in procurement activities as well. He have talked about the 1 million plus that he had engaged in relation to the procurement of spare parts. No one can see the spare parts of what Mr. Kanye procured. In fact, the the machinery that was involved was still not functional after the alleged procurement. I'm not sure whether you've learned about.
We did.
Yes. And Mr. Kanye could not tell us what he did with the money. And to show also evidence of procurement as well. There has to be evidence of procurement as well. But when you look at this file, in addition to that, you see on the 10th of April 2019, you will see that imprest were also given to Mr. Kanye. We see on retired imprest of $180,000. Then more SN Sane to Mr. Kanye through a memo in which you were copied, and this acting CEO, it says, after a report by Finance Manager 2 concerning the above caption, I hereby like to ask you to retire the sum of 180,000 not later than Monday, the 15th of April 2019, being impressed issued to you for food for disaster team. Your cooperation is highly solicited. Now, it was never retired. On the date of April 2019, Mr. Kanye had a letter that was written to him. It reads, following your unruly behavior towards the acting deputy chief executive officer at his office today, the 30th of April 2019, in the presence of Director of Services and Ward Councillor for Kololi, Honorable Peter Mende, I am directed to suspend you from work for 2 weeks without salary with immediate effect. We are to resume for work on 22nd of May 2019. However, you are hereby advised to desist from such practices. Any future reoccurrence will attract stiffer disciplinary action. Now, Mr. Kanye responded to this. Let me just show you the exhibit LGC/KMC. Sorry, KMK/KMC 005.
The letter is cut. I don't know if you're aware.
Please come again.
The letter is cut.
Okay, let me see. Yes, that's true. I'm not sure whether we have another copy. Yes, so this is the one we have, signed by Mr. Mustafa Khan, and he read it himself. But you're right, it has the last words not clear. But basically, what we read to Mr. Khan is, or what he read by himself is that, thank you for writing on rudely to me without writing for both sides. However, I do not blame you. Even kids are given chance to explain themselves. Whoever directed you to suspend me is rude and stupid and does not know his time of reference. Came to the council through a process. I came to the council through a process. Sorry, I came to the council through a process and let the same process will see me exit. The salary bit is not a problem for me. Both of you two greedy lots will not have your way, and as I am here, you will not have your way once more. Truly, you are all cowards, and I hope you remain cowards. I will use your original letter as a toilet paper for my next visit to the toilet. Mr. Kanye's behavior, uh, from the interviews we had, is just unacceptable in an institution like this. So I'm not sure whether this issue between Mr. Kanye and the administration was put to your notice, but I see that you're copied. I'm not sure.
I'm not copied in this letter.
Okay. But the other disciplinary letter sent to him, you were copied for.
Can I see them? Is the voucher where they give him the interest there as well?
That's where impress is.
Sorry, I don't see the impress for the honor, and I just see the demand from
Mr. Kamara,
accounts.
the witness to.
On the voucher. The reason I asked, because in his title of his letter, he's saying so-called retirable impress, as
Yes.
he did not receive it. So I don't know why he's calling it so-called.
Yeah. So the letter I read or referred to you was the letter from the Director of Administration to Mr. Mustafa Kani, Overseer of Compliance. It says 10th of April 2019 on retired impress. You see that one?
I saw that letter.
Okay.
Now, in his response, he said, in his title, if you look at it, it says so-called retirable impress.
Yes, that is Mr. Kanye's way of writing.
So that's why I say it's as if he's giving doubt to the fact that he was given a impress. So that's why I
Yes.
said, can I see the voucher?
Yes, we don't have the voucher. We're just examining the
language.
And also the communications from the CEO, who just wrote to him in relation to impress that he purportedly should have retired, and the response from the administration, sorry, from Mr. Kanye to a higher authority,
Right.
would not be proper.
It is a terrible letter.
Yeah. Any questions? Otherwise, that's all for the the first set of issues we have for the witness.
Proceed.
We are done with the witness with respect to the issues that we have for like before one of
Um, Mayor, the documents you submitted,
Yes.
which you were asked to produce,
Yes.
I perused through the documents, but for the EU grant, which is the 3 million,
Yes.
there are no annexures there too. We do not see the bundle of documents doesn't contain the annexures, which is contained in one of the documents, which is the external actions of the European Union. That is the grant contract.
The external actions.
Yes, external actions of the European Union. That is the grant contract. If you look at it, page 3 or 4, I'll give it to you to look at.
Yes.
You have Article 6, which provides for the annexures. It has annexure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are the annexures that will give us an understanding of what the budget is, an understanding how it was executed, because we may not have. And if you look at the report, the final report, you will see that we will request that you provide us with a clearer copy, because this one is very fainted.
From the auditor.
Yes, this one which reads the final report, March 2022, 2023, is dated March 2022, 2023. And this is in relation to the grant agreement of 2021. All right. So please provide us with that. That is number one. Number two, on the issue of the partnership for sustainable cities, I don't seem to see the relevant documents that will give us an idea of um, um, the way the project was executed, the relevant annexures also.
Sorry, which one is the Partnership for Sustainable Cities? What is the source of funding?
The source of funding is, let me see. I believe is the the 507 €507,465. And this is also an EU.
Is it the BMC?
Yes.
Topic say BMC.
Yes, BMC.
Okay, it was
BMC.
yes.
Yes, BMC, which is Sustainable Waste Management to reduce child rights violation at the backwater dump site.
Yes, the reason because it's implemented by SOS. So they are beneficiaries of the project.
All
And
right.
SOS will be implemented.
And how did you partner with SOS?
So
Were you paid? Were funds paid into your account?
No, not to KMC.
Not to KMC.
Yeah, so we co-authored the project.
Project, okay.
Because SOS is affected by the backwater dump site. So the project is for the backwater dump site. Yeah. So they implemented and we were the beneficiaries.
For these grants that you had, did you have any technical or financial proposal that was submitted prior to the grants being approved?
I would assume so, yes. There's a grant application.
Yes.
I think the EU one.
There's only one, but it's not complete.
Okay.
The grant application form is not complete at all.
Okay, so I should find application.
Yes. So because that will give you a comprehensive understanding of what it is and how the modus operandi in implementing the grant.
Yeah. Okay. I will.
And one last thing, let me just quickly check. Yes, and the report, it's very faint.
The audit report.
Yes, the report itself is very faint.
I will try.
And please check whether it's the complete. Is it whether it's complete? Because what I see here, the last page is not numbered, and I cannot read the document. I'll just show you, just to confirm
Sure.
that it's not readable, and we cannot ascertain whether the report is actually fine. If you look at the last pages,
Okay. In the Excel document, right? Yes. It's smudged. The financial report.
yes. And did you this final reports, were they jointly done by your team?
No, so this is an external auditor
Yes.
hired by the European Union
Okay.
to audit the project team.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not, it's an external audit.
It's that.
Yeah, so it's called Mazars.
Yes. But did your internal audit do any reconciliation?
No, so
To
the way it works, the EU audits the project.
okay.
Yes.
And you do not have a hand in auditing it.
No, we cannot.
You cannot.
Because that's why the EU hires an external. I believe this auditor is from Senegal.
Yes. All right. Let's have the complete document so that we can have
Okay.
a proper understanding of all of this.
So
Thank
I believe this one is the financial reports that are
Yes.
needed.
Yes. And the other one is the annexures. The annexures are not here.
Okay. Okay. I'll try to.
Council, do we go for break? It's almost break. We may rise.